clouds of smoke stretching for hundreds of miles. The Pantanal wetlands in western Brazil have been decimated by unprecedented fires. The government has sent reinforcements from all over the country. In the state of Mato Grosso do Sul, which contains 65% of this fragile ecosystem, 400 firefighters, soldiers and brigadiers have been mobilized for more than 3 months, day and night. The flames have already destroyed more than 760,000 hectares of vegetation. To join the team on the front line, you have to travel more than 80 kilometers from the town of Corumbá, the epicenter of the fires, and cross the Paraguay River.
These difficulties with access are making the fight against the fires in the Pantanal much tougher.
June smashed all records, with more than 2,600 fires breaking out. That's 30 times more than last year. Every minute, the equivalent of 9 football pitches was decimated. From this farm, converted into a support base, these soldiers have been fighting the surrounding fires for a week and a half. The day before, they managed to bring the flames under control with the precious help of unseasonably heavy rain. But the mission is far from over.
Open the hose, we're going to douse here. Just because we've put out the flames doesn't mean they can't start up again. So every day we have to keep an eye on things to see if there is still any risks. With the wind, the fire can move from one side to the other.
The other danger comes from underground fires. They're invisible and continue to burn under a layer of vegetation and sand.
The fire came from São Bento.
From the São Bento farm?
Yes, then it burned everything here before getting closer to the house.
The fire started on a neighboring farm. More than half of this workers' ranch went up in smoke.
The fire has already burnt down the fences and posts. But it's advancing and it's going to destroy the enclosure. That's what's going to hurt us. The enclosure is new, it cost 70,000 euros.
Heavy losses for farmers, who are often the ones responsible. 95% of fires originate on farmland in the region. To track them down, the environmental military police are working meticulously.
We've just received an alert from the public prosecutor's office, gathered from satellite images. The images show where the fire started.
Once the GPS coordinates have been identified, the battalion goes to the scene. The fire is about 100 meters from the riverbank. The team has to get as close as possible.
We thought we'd get there, but the bushes are thorny and we can't go any further.
With a drone, they're trying to collect evidence to discover the origin of the fire. The area is completely burnt out.
The crime is not starting fires, because there are legal techniques for burning agricultural land, for example, with environmental licenses. The crime is when the fire gets out of control and becomes a forest fire.
However, burning farmland was banned in June and will remain prohibited until the end of the year. For the police, the culprits are difficult to identify, not least because of the lack of witnesses.
You saw this fire. When did it start?
It came from up there. Yesterday we thought it was going to diminish, but it started up again.
The fires have been facilitated by a record drought. Over the last 35 years, the world's largest flooded savanna has lost 29% of its surface water. A sanctuary for flora and fauna, this biome is home to several hundred species, most of which are threatened with extinction. They're the first victims of fire.
We're heading for the banks of the river, where we spotted a family of howler monkeys, and we've been keeping an eye on them ever since. This area has been completely destroyed by fire.
This biologist patrols the area every day. According to a study in 2020, unprecedented fires caused the death of 17 million animals.
The firefighters managed to save these trees from the flames. The monkeys were able to take refuge in the treetops, and they're now being fed while waiting for the vegetation to regenerate.
But this ecosystem is on borrowed time. Affected by global warming and climate phenomena such as El Niño and La Niña, the Pantanal is also being devastated by deforestation, which increased by almost 60% last year, according to the NGO Map Biomas.
When we have fires like in 2019, 2021 and now in 2024 in the same areas and with high intensity, this has an impact on the Pantanal's seed stocks and it prevents regeneration. If the Pantanal dries out, we know that with the surrounding livestock farming, it will be very difficult to prevent agricultural expansion.
The fire season has only just begun and usually lasts until October. Other biomes are also affected. In the Amazon, more than 14,000 fires have already been recorded since the beginning of January, compared with 8,000 at the same time last year.